All right, so welcome everybody. This is the More Knowledge Show. This is episode 21, maybe. I think we're in the 20s. Yeah, it's been quite a long time. It's been a month since we last made an episode. In fact, the last episode we made was titled like Thanksgiving Special, and now today, December 26th, it is the day after Christmas. So a lot has happened between last episode and now. I forgot what we talked about last episode. I do not go back and watch these things. Maybe one day in the future I'll go back and I'll watch this stuff just to see if I was right or wrong. I'm sure I'll be wrong about a lot of things, but I'm sure many things I'll be right about. And if I do go back and I find that I'm right about something, I'll be sure to brag about it and take credit for it, because that's what we do around here. And I think that's completely fine. If you say something and then you end up being right, you should be able to brag about it. Just make sure that you're fair about it. Because some people, they'll try to make it seem like they're the first ones, or they were the only ones to predict something. Chances are you aren't. Some cases you are, but it's like a million different people who will say that they predicted the housing crisis in 2008. It's literally a million different people who will say they predicted it, and there were a lot of people. Now, if you say you predicted it, you were the minority, I guess, because most people, if the majority is predicting a crisis, you're already in a crisis. So it's always going to be a minority, but you can't say that you were the only one to do it. It was a lot of other people to do it, and chances are you were not the first one to do it. You probably heard what someone else wrote, and then you kind of repeated it, or maybe put your own spin on it, which is fine. I mean, I kind of do that too. I listen to other ideas. I watch what other people have to say, and then I kind of put things together, but I never just completely take someone's ideas and claim it's mine. That's completely counterintuitive. What we want to do with the More Knowledge Association is we want to kind of collect a whole bunch of ideas and then make them available so people can form their own ideas off of what other people think. But it's not to copy. It's not increasing the pool of knowledge. That's why it's called the More Knowledge Association. We want to take knowledge and multiply it by combining it and having other people being able to add their own inputs and grow the pool of knowledge. Because if we can have a platform that can, instead of just people repeating things, but people forming their own thoughts off the ideas of others, we think the society could be much more better off. We have more free-thinking individuals. We have more intelligent individuals, and then more intelligent individuals make more intelligent decisions, and we get better overall outcomes, and we can hopefully solve the problems. That's really at the core of the More Knowledge Association. We do not think that's really being done very well. A lot of what's going on right now is that people commit to a certain ideology, like I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican, and then they just copy every single belief from that ideology. They don't even really think about each thing. We want to encourage thinking. We want to encourage the combination of ideas and not just accepting one set of beliefs and then that's the only truth, and then closing your ears and eyes to pretty much everything else in the world. And that is the main issue that we are trying to tackle, and at the same time we are going to make many other things a lot better. So that's just kind of a quick, because it's been a while, so if you forgot what the More Knowledge Association is about, if you forgot why you're watching this video, that is why you're watching this video. That is the main mission of the More Knowledge Association. We are not some strange, we're not trying to take over the world. We're not trying to do anything evil. I mean, we are trying to make some money eventually down. We are a business, but we're not trying to eat anyone's children, okay? We're good people. Well, right now it's just one person, but y'all get the basic idea. Anyway, let's get started with this show, okay? So, I guess the big thing over this past month, the stock market's been doing very well. And the reason why the stock market's been doing so well, it's all been triggered by this phase one trade deal that was first announced back in October. And when it was announced, I called it a fraud. I said it wasn't going to happen. And, I actually did think it was not going to happen. I thought that they were just going to continue to delay it, and then eventually they would be like, we're going to wait till after the election to get it done. And in fact, in the beginning of the month, markets actually started off kind of bad, because that's what was in the headlines. They were saying maybe, even Donald Trump himself was like, the phase one trade deal probably will not happen until after the election. And then when I saw that, I'm like, oh, it looks like I'm correct. We're not going to get a phase one trade deal. That was a complete lie. People fell for it. This may not do too good. But they did end up having a phase one trade deal. And I think that there are some reasons why that happened. And the reasons are not that things are actually getting better or we're getting closer to an actual trade deal. The reasons are all kind of political. Okay, it's all kind of short-term, kicking the can down the road to accomplish short-term goals. On China's side, I think that they're saying that their economy is obviously slowing, and they don't think that they're in a strong enough economic position to fight a trade war with the United States. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a short-term lift in the economy. So they're accepting maybe some small concessions to get the phase one trade deal in, hopefully to just improve economic data, improve economic sentiment, and they're also doing some other things beyond just this phase one trade deal. They're opening up trade with a lot of other countries. They're implementing a lot of stimulus measures to help out small businesses. They're trying to increase credit, and the government is really getting involved to kind of stabilize the economy. And it's obvious that this is part of the phase one trade deal was one small part of this big plan to strengthen the Chinese economy. And I think that they're going to strengthen the Chinese economy. Once they feel they're strong enough, they'll get back to being extra stubborn on trade. Because in the long term, once again, they're not going to just conform to American ideals and, kind of fall under America's umbrella. They want to expand themselves, not contract under America. Pretty much, they're trying to create their own empire. They're trying to take America's spot. They're not trying to work with us. And I think eventually people are going to realize that. I've said this many times before. And on the American side, I think Donald Trump, he needs to get some key points to campaign on. And this would be very helpful for him. He needs some trade progress. So he could point to and say, this right here, you like this, it's good, it's great. So elect me again and you can get even more of this. You can get more of my wonderful negotiating skills. He's trying to prove, because, if you remember going into 2016, he always talked about how great he was at making deals. And so far, we haven't really gotten many deals. But here's something that he can point to and say, this is serious progress. And if you elect me, I will complete this entire trade negotiation process, and everything will be wonderful, and I will solve this big issue with China. So I think he really wants to get this in, so people can't just point and say, you're a fraud, you lied, you said that you were going to get all this stuff done with trade, and you've gotten pretty much nothing done. See, he's gotten this done, he's also getting USMCA done. So that's two things I can kind of point to. I think that's part of the reason why he wanted to make sure that he got the phase one trade deal done. Even if it's maybe not, it really doesn't do anything of what he was complaining about. He just got some agricultural purchases and stuff like that. It wasn't like, intellectual property. It wasn't very much on the core issues that sparked the trade war. So from looking at it like that, we're not getting any closer to solving the trade war. We're just maybe improving the near-term economic outlook and really giving, Donald Trump a better re-election case. And I also think that, Donald Trump, he puts a lot of emphasis on the stock market. We've talked about this many times before. He really he's pretty much turning the stock market into an indicator of economic prosperity, even though it's really not, because the rising stock market doesn't affect a lot of people. I mean, there are people with like retirement accounts that are in the stock market, but for the majority of people who benefit from the rising stock market are people like Donald Trump. It's not many average, everyday Americans really care about the stock market, but he's creating an illusion that the stock market is performing well. That means everyone's doing well. So as the stock market is rising 30%, people are 30% better off. And I think a lot of people have bought into this, and people are celebrating right along with it. So in order to continue to keep on using that as a key talking point for his reelection, he needs to keep the stock market moving up. And if you remember last year, at this time of the year, the stock market was doing terrible. It had like the biggest drop since like the Great Depression. It was something like that. Like it was a major drop. And he did not want that to replicate itself. He wanted to kind of move that out of the way so people could just forget that even happened. So he wants to make sure that does not repeat. Because that becomes a yearly thing, that would be bad. He wants to make sure that this year, instead of having a terrible stock market, we have a really strong stock market to end the year, and that's what people are going to remember. People are going to remember this, and the people who have bought into the idea that the stock market means everyone is doing better and the economy is better, they're especially going to believe it now, that the stock market is doing so well. So he kind of really made sure to cram in all of these positive things, once again, USMCA, and the Phase 1 trade deal, to make sure that markets are really performing well to end the year, which contrasts with what was going on in the markets last year. He does not want that to repeat, because if he didn't get this Phase 1 trade deal in, that may have happened. I mean, investors may have seen, it looks like we're having a repeat of last year, it's time to sell, and then they would have sold off heavy just like they did the year before. But he knew that that's not the path that he wanted to go down. So once again, I think these are the reasons. They're all short-term political victories. They're not long-term victories. So they're not improving the outlook for trade. That's my basic thesis on that. Now, besides trade and all the economical stuff, of course they go to politics, which was the impeachment thing. It was a whole bunch of impeachment stuff. If you went on TV, you would just hear them, they would talk in Congress, and then they'd have different people come up to the microphone, or they'll be like, I don't know, I'm honestly not even too sure how the political stuff works. It was just a bunch of people with suits talking in microphones, repeating the same stuff. You heard every Democrat was saying the exact same thing. Every Republican was saying the exact same thing. And we really didn't get much out of it, but we did get an impeachment. And I think what I take from this is that the whole impeachment thing, it is turned into a political weapon and not a tool to enforce justice. So it's no longer about justice or correcting the wrongs that people do and making sure that the president is not doing corrupt things. It's no longer the purpose of impeachment. It really doesn't matter if the president's doing corrupt things. It's all about politics and trying to get political victories. And, and from what I see from that is justice and politics do not mix up. The political goals will override right and wrong. So if one side has a certain political goal, but then you look at the side of right and wrong and it says that's wrong to do that, they will make sure that they get what they want done. So it really doesn't matter. You can pretty much do whatever you want. People in Washington can be as corrupt as they want. There is no real pushback. There's nothing bad will happen. Okay, so And I think that even the Democrats know this. They know that this is a situation that he's not really going to be impeached. That's not the whole reason for doing this. They're not actually going to remove him from office. So the whole reason to doing this is hopefully to put a stain on Donald Trump to take him out of office. Well, no, not take him. We'll take him out of office in 2020 in the election. And on the Republican side, they're looking at this as this is the opportunity to frame Democrats as basically witch hunters. They use that analogy to the Salem witch trials, and then, we all know witch hunters are bad. People who just blame people for stuff based off of nothing, and if, we can't let these people get into power. So it can kind of be a good rallying cry for the Republicans. So that's really how both sides are looking at it. It's not really at all about whether Donald Trump did anything wrong. In fact, I've not even heard Republicans even try to deny that Donald Trump has done anything wrong. I mean, not really. All they've pretty much said is that Democrats are evil, they're lying, they're out to get Donald Trump. I mean, that's pretty much all they've said. That's all they said. There's really very little reasons for, Democrats will come out with some evidence. I think it's pretty clear they did do something wrong. And then Republicans will just be like, well, I mean, presidents in the past have done things wrong without getting impeached. And, you may be right, but that's not really how this works. Just because someone got away with doing something bad in the past does not mean we should never enforce those laws in the present. That's a mistake in the past does not mean we should continue making that mistake forever and ever. So just because you can point to an example where a president was doing something corrupt and he didn't get punished, that means it's okay for Donald Trump to, it's stuff like that. That's all the arguments that are being made, and it's all just to paint particular images of the other side for politics. This is not really about justice, and it's kind of, it's bad. It shows that our political system is becoming even more corrupt. I mean, I think it's always been corrupt, but it's becoming obviously corrupt. Maybe it's not really even becoming more corrupt. It's just showing itself for what it really is. The whole lie of, our political system is just, and that's kind of the big thing. That's the reason why people want to do business in America. That's the reason why America is kind of placed on this pedestal, because we're considered like a just country. We're kind of anti-corruption, stuff like that. So, but it's becoming clearer and clearer that that's obviously not true. Everything is done for an agenda. It's done to accomplish a purpose. Whether by trying to accomplish that purpose, you are bypassing the laws, it will still be done. So even if we've had pretty concrete evidence that Donald Trump should be impeached, Republicans wouldn't care at all. It doesn't matter. And they're not even going to try to fight that. They're not even going to try to say he did not do anything wrong. They're just going to say Democrats are liars. This, all of that. All just to get votes. All just to remain in power and keep the same thing going on and on. And that's definitely bad. That is definitely bad that, it shows that we have a long way to go. That our system is not this perfect model system. I don't know if there is a perfect model system out there. I think that corruption probably exists in every government. But it shows that, there is definitely room to grow in our government, because there's no accountability. It's pretty much complete corruption. And it's the reason why we have so many problems, whether it's inequality or certain things that never seem to be solved after years and years. You wonder why we haven't made the commitment to solve certain problems. It's all because of corruption. It's all because the interests of politicians are matched with the interest of someone else and not the interest of the people. And yeah, that's pretty much what I get from this impeachment. I don't really get much about, whether he should be impeached or not. That's really not the whole purpose behind this. Both sides. Either side. Both sides know he's not actually going to get impeached. I mean, well, he's not actually going to. He has gotten impeached. They both know that he's not going to get removed from office. They're all just trying to use this as much as they can for political agenda reasons. And yeah, that's pretty much what I get from that. And now, lastly, I'm going to talk about what I think is going to happen with the economy. So right now we're growing at about 2% of GDP, and I think what markets are anticipating is that will continue. That the economy will continue growing at about 2%. I mean, the labor market is strong. People are working, at least supposedly, according to the economic numbers. We know that they can be randomly revised down heavily in the future, and people won't even pick up on it, just like they were in like 2018, where they said that they counted all of these jobs that didn't actually exist. So, that's always a possibility. But as of right now, it appears that the labor market is strong, the consumer is spending, and yeah, the economy's great, pretty much. They pretty much overlooked the problems of manufacturing. They overlooked the fact that businesses are not investing. But I think what a lot of people are thinking is, with this phase one trade deal, that's been kind of holding back the economy, and now the economy can really hopefully start to pick up again and grow around 2%, maybe even a little bit better. And they may be right, at least for the beginning or the near future. They may be right. The economy may be able to slightly pick up, maybe, like around maybe at this level or slightly above this level of economic growth. I think that's what the economy can do. But I think the next major shift in the economy, it's still the long-term trend, is slower growth, because that's simply the world that we live in. That's that's the credit cycle. What's driving the underlying economy is we're heading down the hill. Monetary policy has been used up nearly as much as it can. So there's little we have there to push the economy upwards. The tax cuts have already been recycled through the economy. It didn't really do too much. It just led to a lot of share buybacks. It helped the stock market. And globally and politically, ties are being cut. That's going to continue over time. Of course, we had the phase one trade deal. It looks like maybe we won't have a no-deal Brexit. But over time, we're going to see these ties between the countries cut, supply chains get cut, political uncertainty increase. We have a 2020 election coming up that's going to cause some tensions in the economy, and the ability to just inject credit into the economy to create economic growth is pretty much going to be turned all the way down to none, because we've used up all of our power in that space. And what we're going to see is, over time, the economy is still going to weaken. They're just very good at kicking the can down the road. Like I said, never underestimate their ability to kick the can down the road. They can do it a million times more. But over time, the economic outlook still remains. So maybe in the near future, the economic growth can kick up a little bit, or maybe it'll just remain stagnant. But over time, we're heading downwards. We're not going to see another 10 years of economic growth. That's not happening. All right, we're going to see a recession probably in the next 5 years. Well, I won't even say probably. It's definitely in the next 5 years we're going to see a recession. And then once that happens, it's very hard for me to even say what could happen after that. The possibilities are literally endless, and that's kind of scary to think about. Anyway, that is today's episode of the More Knowledge Show. I'll see y'all again, hopefully soon. I'll probably record a bunch of videos because I've been gone for a while. But yeah, I'll see y'all in a few days.